I think that there's a complacency. Remember, ever since the Super Bowl, where we should have had what I regard as a severe decline after, because we realized that the Chinese had lost control of things, I expected the market to go down. I've been very, very negative, much more negative I've been in a long time. And yet we got such froth. And we had so many stocks going up where their numbers weren't going to be that good. So, I mean, yes, there are absolutely some situations that I'm going to like, Wilf, but wow, I mean, come on. I mean, last week was just this terrible week when it came to the junk that was going up. And I just said, boy, maybe we actually need a washout. And then we spread to Italy. Well, if we wake up tomorrow and there's another one, another cluster on the continent, do you think we can go up?
I think it's going to be hard, Jim, and clearly the sentiment towards the close was negative. We lost another 250 points, having got to only 800 down. Do you think as well we'll play catch-up when Asian markets, European markets open tomorrow?
Yeah, look, I think the Chinese market's totally phony. I mean, they're not letting anyone sell. You have to notify the government. They do have $1 trillion they could repatriate if they're really in a jam. But I think, look, if I were an enterprising reporter right now, I would go to JFK Terminal, because there's a beautiful series of planes that come in from United Arab Emirates, from Milan to JFK, and I want to know, are those people being stopped? I mean, I know there's being stopped from China, but if you can get, you went up to Fashion Week, you got sick, you got on a plane, well, what's the difference between Italy now and China?
Yeah, just the number of cases, Jim. So what do investors do? I mean, we often look to history and look to SARS and other sort of pandemics. And, you know, it's always proven to be something short-lived that, you know, is awful. And, of course, there's a human toll. But investors were rewarded for staying in the market. Is that your advice to sort of go back and look at what happened in the past?
No, stay in. We're getting a very good, we're getting a comprehensive decline. I think you can start buying the staples tomorrow. I think the drug stocks work. You just don't want to be in the crosshairs of what I regard as being anything that's made in China or anything travel. Hotels, very bad. Airlines, very, very bad. Cruise ships, I mean, I can't believe people are still buying those stocks. Anything oil is so wrong. Oil's going down. There's just a big slowdown. The industrials ran last week. I mean, how could Illinois Tourist be hitting its like all-time high last week? I mean, we really we're kind of nuts in what was being bought. So now we're going to come down, and people have to start thinking about their time horizon. Remember that you don't make much money in bonds. You're going to get the opportunities that you haven't had that you should have gotten. But if you don't have any cash, I don't know what you're going to do. I think it's still not too late to sell if you don't have any cash. These are very different situations
Jim,
for Buffett, who's the most cash in the world.
Jim, tell us what's coming up on the show tonight.
Well, we've got a couple of guys that are really interesting. Deluxe, first analyst meeting forever. They rang the closing bell at 5-9. Now, there's a case of a contact center situation, high growth tech, no coronavirus whatsoever. Do you make your stand in it? I don't know. I think that in the end, it's not exactly the kind of thing that Warren Buffett would buy. I do like the HPQ numbers after the close. That was a very good quarter. That one may be too cheap to ignore.
And shares are up 3% after market, Jim.
Well,
thank
why not?
you.
I mean, they beat consensus by a gigantic amount. It's very inexpensive. They're buying back half the company. What's not to like?